Hey, friend, welcome back to another episode of the Career Strategy Podcast. And today I want to talk about money and talk about the real cost of continuing to DIY your job search and how Career Strategy Lab's 3-month job search accelerator is designed to pay for itself. So, whether you're considering hiring someone to do a review of your resume or your LinkedIn, or you're considering working with a career coach and investing in like 6 or 8 kind of weekly sessions with that person, or maybe you are considering joining Career Strategy Lab's 3-month job search accelerator. Regardless of which one might be on your radar, all of those still can be a little scary, right? Investing in yourself and your career can often feel like a gamble. So, like I said, I want to talk about the elephant in the room, which is money. So, you have probably thought about how powerful and impactful it could be to do those things I just said, right? Have someone do a resume review, work with someone on a weekly basis for 6 or 8 weeks, or join Career Strategy Lab. Regardless of which of those you might be considering, the price tag can often feel like a roadblock. I hear this all of the time. And it's like a chicken and egg scenario, right? You know that if you want to advance your career and get unstuck from where you are right now, and because you're probably trying to do this all by yourself so far, you know that you're going to need to invest to get through that setback or that thing you're stuck with. But you're also trying to be smart with your money, right? And you're trying to weigh the pros and cons of investing in any of these scenarios. So, first things first, I totally get it. I never want you to make a decision that would not be financially wise, that you can't afford, right? But let's reframe this mindset around career investments, because sometimes not investing in yourself and in your career keeps you stuck longer than you realize. And it's not until you sit down and do the math and look at the implications of maybe trying to continue to DIY this, or realizing that investing in your career could help you reach your goals faster. And there is a tangible ROI to that we will get to in a moment. All right, so I want to talk about 3 ways to think about investing in your career and 3 things I want you to consider. So, number 1 is I want you to think about the time your job search is taking and the income that you're not earning as a result of that. So, a lot of people come to my program, Career Strategy Lab, after spending months, sometimes years, job hunting on their own. There have been multiple times where people have said that they had applied to 400 jobs and not received interviews or offers yet. That is a long time. But then something happens. When they decide they don't want to keep doing it alone anymore, and they realize that whatever they've been doing isn't working, and they make that decision to join Career Strategy Lab, we have seen many people be hired in 3 months, in 4 months, in 6 months, some even as fast as 5 weeks. Incredible, right? And they did that with the strategies that we teach. So I want you to think about your scenario. If you are in a job search right now, think about how many months has the job search been happening? Based on the salary that you hope to earn, or maybe just do it with your last salary, think about, okay, how much money per month have I not been earning because I have not been employed, right? And once you have that number of what your kind of monthly income would be, I want you to think about 2 scenarios. Scenario number one is that your job search takes 6 months because you decide to DIY it. And I want you to do the math. The 1 month salary times 6 months of time. Then I want you to think about, okay, what happens if you get hired in 3 months? And I want you to do that math. So let's think of an example here. Imagine that your next job pays you a salary of $120,000 a year. Simple math, that means your monthly salary is $10,000 a month. So if you get hired in 3 months instead of 6 months, that means that you're earning an extra $30,000, right? Because you got hired 3 months faster than you did if your job search took 6 months. And that's what I mean when I say there really is a tangible financial element to allowing your job search to take longer than it needs to. So do the math. Hit pause right now and walk through that math that I just shared with you to figure out, okay, how much money has my job search cost me so far? And then think about, what if my job search takes 6 months? And then think about, what if my job search takes 3 months? Because if it takes 3 months, and in that example we did, that means if your annual salary is 120, getting hired 3 months faster means that's an extra $30,000 in your pocket, which is incredible, right? Okay. Second thing I want you to think about when it comes to investing in your career is I want you to think about how, in my case, my Career Strategy Lab program will likely pay for itself. So let's talk real numbers. Career Strategy Lab currently costs $3,600 for 3 months, or $3,000 if you pay in full. So on average, clients in the year 2024, just so we can stay current, on average, those people have seen salary increase average of $27,000 after joining Career Strategy Lab. So if Career Strategy Lab costs $3,000, then it has paid for itself, right? If you get a salary increase of $27,000, you can more than cover the cost of Career Strategy Lab, which is awesome. So not only can Career Strategy Lab help you land a role faster, or other approaches as well, but when you invest in yourself and your career, it could also result in a salary bump that will cover the cost of whatever kind of approach you use to get some assistance in your job search, right? And we see this happen all of the time. People come to us and say, I got hired with a salary increase of 15,000, 25,000, 65,000. The numbers are wild. And they say, I definitely 10x'd my investment in Career Strategy Lab, or of course, whatever number makes sense in that equation based on their salary, right? The other thing that's really important to consider is the impact of compound interest in your career. And one person that was in Career Strategy Lab, their name is Sam. When I asked Sam what she would say if someone was on the fence about joining a program like Career Strategy Lab, Sam said, without missing a beat, she just blurted out compound interest. And she went on to say how you have to think of this whole situation like you might think of investing, right? If you get hired faster, like in 3 months instead of 6 or 9 or 12, that means you are now earning a salary, which then you can use to do a variety of things, right? Obviously, pay for your living expenses and such, but you might be able to be paying down debt or investing in your retirement portfolio and things like that. And the sooner you can start doing those things, the more time that you have to leverage that principle of compound interest. And Sam went on to say that if she'd known how awesome Career Strategy Lab was, she would have borrowed money to join the program, which I thought was pretty powerful. So think about the compound interest element of this also, because of course, Career Strategy Lab can help you get hired faster. It will likely pay for itself, and it gives you the funds to be able to invest in other things in your life. All right. And the third thing I want to touch on when it comes to investing in yourself and your career, I want you to think about, would investing in yourself and your career be more attainable if, for example, the program you're considering had more flexible payment plans, or if maybe there was even financing options that you could leverage to help have the funds to get into the program, to start doing the work so you can start applying for jobs and get hired in 3 months, not 6 months, right? Of course, we're not guaranteeing that. I'm just saying that as an example. And so that's why in our program, Career Strategy Lab, we have a variety of flexible payment options, including multi-month payment plans. And I did a ton of research into this, but we started working with a financing partner about 18 months ago called Elective. And you can Google them and find Elective's website for yourself to make sure they're real. I'll also link to them in the show notes below for you too. And they are able to offer flexible payment plans along with loans to help you be able to get into the program. And what's unique about some of their options is they are interest free, which is part of the reason why I decided to work with them. So if finances are something that are holding you back in investing in yourself and your career, I would look to see if whatever program you might be considering, do they have longer payment plans? Do they have financing options? And if you're listening to this and you're considering joining Career Strategy Lab and you didn't know about these financing options, feel free to send me a message on LinkedIn or reply to one of my emails, and we will get you the details you need so you can learn more about what options are available to you. All right, so there you have it. We talked about what it means to invest in yourself and your career, the real cost of continuing to DIY your job search and have it take longer than probably you imagine it will, and how Career Strategy Lab was designed to essentially pay for itself. The real question here is whether you can afford to keep waiting to invest in yourself and your career, because as we went through that little math exercise that we did and did the math to figure out, okay, if it takes you 6 months to get hired versus if you get hired in 3 months and that job is paying you $10,000 a month, that is $30,000 extra dollars in your pocket. And I think a lot of people don't think like this, right? They are so focused on just finding more and more and more jobs to apply to that they're not like coming up and thinking about this more strategically, which is why we call this the Career Strategy Podcast. All right, so if you are ready to take the next step in your career and are curious about your options for working with me inside my job search accelerator, Career Strategy Lab, then just head over to careerstrategylab.com/apply. That's careerstrategylab.com/apply. And you will find all the information you need. And if you're still on the fence, feel free to reach out to me with any questions you have. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can use the contact page on our website. I would love to be able to answer any of your questions. So until next time, I'm Sarah Doody, and you've been listening to the Career Strategy Podcast. If you don't want to miss future episodes, you know what would be awesome? You're going to hit pause right now and go subscribe to this podcast, and bonus points if you take 10 seconds and give us a star rating, because those ratings help signal to the good old algorithms out there that people like what we have to say, And then we climb higher in the charts for career podcasts. So help us climb those charts, give us a rating, and I will see you next week.